I'm Enough is about my journey to self-discovery. As I wrote the book and as I began to promote the book, I realized that I'm Enough was not just my journey. It was the journey of so many other people that have experienced feelings of rejection, inadequacies, low confidence, low self-esteem within relationships, in relationships with rejection, maybe by your father or your boyfriend, your fiance, feelings of rejection overall within the context of a relationship. A girl being without a father, how she sees herself is reliant on how her father sees her without even knowing it. So if her father is not present in her life, then she relies on his absence to define her. It's easy for somebody without a father to go into the mindset of, I wasn't even good enough for him to stay around. Why doesn't he love me? Why am I not good enough? Those are the questions that people without a father ask themselves. It made me feel like I wasn't enough. It made me feel that I did something wrong. The reason why he stopped coming around, he wasn't present, it really affected how I viewed men. It affected how I operated within relationships. That scared little girl, that rejected little girl, I took that into my adult relationships with men, and it made me operate within that relationship in an unhealthy way. I had unhealthy emotions and an unhealthy outlook as far as an adult, a child mindset, a childlike mindset in adult relationships. The only way I came out of that is that I had several encounters with the Holy Spirit. I've always had good people in my life to direct me and guide me. But for the most part, I had been blessed with male figures to come into my life, not in a sexual manner, but to mentor me, to teach me how a man is supposed to treat me. So I learned a lot from men that came into my life and older people, married couples that took me under their wing and taught me how a relationship was supposed to be between a man and a woman. When you read I'm Enough, it's like seeing yourself. The one thing that I was able to do with this book is that I was able to be transparent. I was able to say the things that how people feel, they don't want to say out loud. I was able to say, I'm not pretty. I don't feel pretty. I was able to say that I'm ugly out loud. I was able to say, I don't love myself out loud. I was able to say that. And I heard myself. And I knew that I didn't want to feel that way. I knew that I was not a mistake. I always knew that I had purpose and God was going to use me. I knew that. But what I knew about myself is it didn't match the way I felt about myself. So I knew that I had to detox my feelings, my emotions, my perception of myself. So I had to really go on a journey of self-discovery. So I'm Enough is a book of self-discovery. It takes you to a place within yourself that you didn't think that you can go. And the first thing that I learned was in order to be free, you have to be honest. And I was able to fearlessly be honest with myself. And I was able to be honest with my loved ones. I was honest with my immediate family on my emotional struggles of how I felt about myself. And so that way, they could help me through it. They could know what I was going through. They could know what I was dealing with. And I was going to come out on the other side of that a conqueror. I was going to come out swinging. I was going to come out strong. I was going to come out victorious. And I'm enough just digs out all of those negative emotions we don't want to be honest about. And I was honest about it. And I'm unapologetically still honest about that's how I felt about myself. I no longer feel that way about myself because I validated myself. I learned to validate myself because my father didn't do it for me. Every boyfriend that I had and a fiance, that did not do it for me. However, I was able to validate myself through the power of the Holy Spirit. He came within me and he gave me the strength. He allowed me to tap into strength because everything we have, we already have inside. Everything we need is already inside of us. That's just like if you see a tree outside. That tree came from a seed. As small as it was, it came from a seed. But it had everything inside of it that it already needed. So since we are too a reflection of God's creation, we have everything that we need inside of us. But the role of a father is to activate that inside of us. And since I didn't have a role of a father to tell me that I was beautiful and tell me that I was worthy and I was valuable and I was enough, I had to learn to do those things on my own. And it was just as effective. And I know that I'm valuable. I know that. I know my worth now. I named the book I'm Enough because for so long I felt like I wasn't enough. And I had struggled. At the time, I was keeping a diary. And the diary turned into a book. I didn't know what I was going to name the book. And I remember one day sitting in the bed and I was having an emotional meltdown, to say. And I was crying and I was very emotional that day. And my ex-boyfriend at the time, we had been going back and forth, talking about reuniting and all that kind of stuff. And I knew that wasn't what I was supposed to do. So I really was struggling with that. And so I was in the bed and I was crying. Do I want to get back with him? If I get back with him, then he's not going to stop cheating. He's not going to treat me the way that I want to be treated. He's not going to respect me the way I deserve to be respected. And I know I deserve better. I know I can do better. So I remember as I'm laying there and I'm crying, I remember saying out loud that I wasn't good enough for my father to even stay. And I wouldn't be good enough for him to stay. So it was probably maybe 60 seconds later, and it was a voice that said, "You're enough." It woke something up inside of me. It was like, okay, get up. Get up. Because I made you. You were mine before you were his. I made you. You're not a mistake. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. I made you. You're enough. Get up. It's time to fight. Stop crying. Wipe your face. It's time to keep moving. Because whether we want to believe it or not, your purpose never goes away. Your assignment never stops. Just because life does, the mission never stops. And I stopped. And in that moment, I got up again. And I want to speak to girls. I want to speak to boys. I want to speak to adult women and men. You're enough. If you're in a toxic relationship, a chaotic relationship, and you're forcing them to accept, that's your first job. You have to accept. When you accept you, people will see when you accept yourself. They can tell. They may not be able to put it in the context of words, but they know. But if you accept yourself, other people respect you enough just because you accept. I'm going to accept you because you accept yourself.